Thank you. Hello, Franz.
Thanks for coming, Gene. Although there's still time to call it off.
When have I ever walked away from a $10 million profit? Is he up there yet?
I haven't seen him come in.
Room 447.
Right. I took the liberty of changing your accommodation. Your 446.
Very good.
You sure you don't want me along?
No, not at this stage, Franz, if you don't mind. I'll go up and see if he's got the goods. And if he does, I'll phone you down, and then you can come up and check it out.
Right. Be careful.
I will.
Ah, Mr. Bradley, welcome again to Istanbul.
Thank you.
We did have your usual penthouse suite reserved for you, but someone called up.
Oh, yes. I wanted something a little more simple.
We put you in room 446.
Could you, put this in the safe for me, please?
I do have to check the contents.
In front of everyone.
Those are my instructions. Does it have any monetary value, sir?
$1 million.
$1 million?
It was all I could print before the press broke down.
$1 million?
I'll give or take 10 or 15 cents.
Let's go.
Good evening, Mr. Bradley. I hope you're there listening to me. There's no point in you talking back. I'm miles from here, and it's only a one-way transmission. You offered a good price, Mr. Bradley. $1 million sweeps the field. But the competition's not going to like it. Watch out for a little guy named Sakuma. If you manage to avoid him, take tomorrow's ferry round the islands. With the money, Mr. Bradley. With the money.
Mr. Bradley? Kay Masterson.
Hello, Miss Masterson.
Johnny Morrison sent me.
He's a cautious man. You're playing a very dangerous game, Miss Masterson. Selling to the highest bidder is okay, as long as the rest of the field are good losers. I've checked on Sakuma. He doesn't have that reputation.
Oh, don't worry about me, Mr. Bradley.
Oh, I'm not worried about you. Just that you and your partner steal a microfile from one of my companies and try to sell it back to me for $1 million. No, I'm not worried about you.
You'd lose far more than that if one of your competitors got hold of that microfile.
Could be. All right. You can get yourself a deal. The money's in here. Where's the microfile?
Johnny has it. How do I know that the money's in there?
You don't really think this is a charm bracelet, do you?
All right, Mr. Bradley. Let's go.
Here we are.
The idea was for you to come alone.
This is my partner, Franz Kolmar.
Okay, but why do we have to have him along?
Your friend Johnny Morrison's a pretty good engineer. He can phone up a file that only an expert would recognize.
That's why I'm here. To make sure we're getting what we set out to buy.
That's the way it is, Kay.
You wait here. I'll let Johnny know you've arrived.
Gene, I've said it before. It's still not too late for you to pull out.
You want that file back or don't you?
$1 million makes a big hole in anybody's pocket, even yours. And I owe you enough already, Gene.
You remember when you came to the States for the first time years ago? With some wild idea about an adding machine that would revolutionize business practice?
I remember trying hard to get you to call it a computer.
And I was so green, I didn't know what you were talking about.
But you backed the idea.
All right, I put $25,000 in.
At the time, it was all the money you had.
But I was young. I had no responsibility. I was playing Vegas, and I could have blown it at the table.
And you may have got better odds.
Do you have any idea how much money I made out of our company?
I know. And I'm delighted.
K&B Electronics, Colmar Bradley, you owe me nothing. I owe you everything. You trusted a man named Johnny Morrison, he let you down.
But it's costing you $1 million.
Franz, don't you realize that I've done better out of your talents than anybody else? I can afford to put back $1 million to protect our company. And look at the brighter side. I mean, this new idea of yours, it can make us another fortune. It can be a Las Vegas all over again.
For higher stakes.
That's progress.
Mr. Bradley, I can't find Johnny. I left him here.
With $1 million coming his way, he shouldn't be very far.
Johnny?
Johnny.
An accident, Mr. Bradley. When he heard us coming, he tried to make it across the roof.
Tell that to the police. Better still, I will.
Oh, no, you won't, Mr. Bradley. At least not until the file is in my possession. And that is merely a formality. The Doberman Bank, deposit box 7-3.
Time to get there. There are going to be a lot of men in blue uniforms waiting for you.
I don't think so, Mr. Bradley. You see, I am arranging a guarantee against any interference. I am taking your old friend Franz Colmar with me. Call the police in, Mr. Bradley, and it's goodbye, Franz Colmar. Get him into the car. And now, to conclude a very successful day's work, I'll take the money. Morrison won't be needing it now.
As a matter of fact, somebody did apply to open deposit box 7-3 only this afternoon.
And?
Naturally, we refused the application.
Why? Wasn't the key good enough?
Not in this case, Mr. Bradley. 7-3 is what we call a double key deposit.
You mean 2 separate keys are required?
For a successful application, yes. The second key is in the possession of...
Miss Kay Masterson.
Correct.
Where did you find the car, Inspector?
It was abandoned in the Saru district. Is there any lead you can give us?
Yes, there is. Excuse me. Gene Bradley here.
I'm setting up a meeting. I guess by now you've checked with the bank and you know there's another key.
Which one do you have, the first or the second? What kind of meeting?
A cozy threesome between you, me, and Sakuma.
Well, that sounds like fun.
I want to give you both a chance to bid for the key. We'll meet in the cafe in the Galata Fish Market in half an hour.
I'll be there.
You were saying you had some sort of information?
Oh, yes, the car. You know, I think we're just a couple of kids out on a joyride, don't you? You don't. Well, thank you for coming, Inspector.
Oh, sit down, Mr. Bradley. Sakuma will be along in a moment. After his disappointment at the bank this morning, he couldn't wait to come and haggle. Oh, I see. It's going to be a good day for the auctioneer. I like a man who'll pay cash.
I want a key, and I don't want any mistakes.
Sakuma wants it, too. But like they say, money talks.
You don't seem to understand. All I'm interested in is Franz Colmar being freed.
And you're not at all interested in the contempt file.
Not while Sakuma has Franz.
Oh, now, Mr. Bradley, I know that a man doesn't get where you have unless he's got his priorities right.
And they are?
Money, himself, and money. In any order you like to take them, so don't give me all this eternal friendship bit with Franz Kolmer. You want my key, you want Sakuma's key, and if Franz Kolmer gets free along the line, so well and good. Isn't that the way it goes?
I wondered how Johnny Morrison became involved in stealing the file.
All right, so maybe I did push him a little. Well, why not? Why shouldn't we get a taste of what you lot take for granted? Oh, don't tell me you've never had to step on a few heads on the way up.
I don't know. I may have. None I intended to. Look, I don't need any lectures from you. All I want is a key. A key that I wanted to buy for the same sum I intended to pay Johnny Morrison. $1 million.
I haven't made my bid yet, Mr. Bradley.
Well, there's no need to. If she sells, the key's yours.
I'm selling.
What do you mean, Mr. Bradley? The key is mine?
Exactly. You free Franz Kolmer, and you have the entire run of the safety deposit box.
You mean you'd pay $1 million and go and give it away?
That's right. Take the money, Miss Masterson. Take it and run. This part of the deal is with Sakuma and me. You want to check the amount? It's all there. All right, Sakuma. Let's get down to details.
Check the amount? It's all there. I had it all wrong, Jean.
Baby, you had it wrong right from the beginning.
Well, it was so easy when I thought we were all playing hard. You know, it is a tough world.
You have to step on heads.
I thought so.
It isn't always that way.
I realized that when I saw how you'd pay $1 million to free a friend. I never had friends like that.
My daddy always told me it takes two to friendship.
Give to get, yes, I know. Something I'm just beginning to learn.
That's a pretty good start.
I suppose I'm not quite as tough as I thought.
And now?
Now? Now, I find I can't exactly sit back and do nothing when I know they're planning to kill Franz Kolmer.
You better tell me everything you know about that case.
Well, the computer file gives details of the new development project, right?
That's right. The finest work Franz ever did. 15 years of research went into it.
And only a handful of electronic engineers could carry it on past the prototype.
Franz could.
So could the man Sakuma has in mind.
Sakuma had no idea of a contest. He didn't want that. He just wanted Franz eliminated.
Yeah, that's when Johnny backed out.
And turned to me to buy back the file.
Well, at that time, it did seem cleaner.
At the cafe, what would have happened if Sakuma had outbid me? What would you have done?
Well, I counted on the fact that he wouldn't. I planned to call in the police and disappear with a cool $1 million. That is, until I discovered that I had got a conscience, after all.
Really?
You wouldn't try to be difficult, would you, Mr. Bradley?
I didn't think you'd be alone. Get in the car, Franz.
You're forgetting the key, Mr. Bradley.
No, it's here. And it stays here until he gets in the car.
All right. The key, Mr. Bradley.
When he's in the car.
Get in, quick.
Perhaps we should talk things over, Mr. Bradley.
Yeah. You've got a lot of talking to do to the police. And I've got a lot of explaining to do to the bank.
We have Miss Masterson's sworn statement, of course. And in normal circumstances, that would be enough.
But
when the second key is unrecognizable.
look, this is obviously one of your keys. Even one of the numbers is visible. Isn't that good enough?
The regulations, Mr. Bradley, are very clear on this point. They state quite simply that the key or keys must open the deposit box.
All right, so now what happens? Does that file stay in the box forever?
Oh, no, Mr. Bradley. We have other regulations, bank procedures.
Do go on.
Well, in cases of reasonable doubt or lost keys, the three-man board of directors decides.
Decides what?
In this case, whether the contents of the box are the legal property of which claimant.
There is only one claimant. Me.
I'm afraid not, Mr. Bradley. There is also the estate of the late Mr. John Morrison. The claims of his heirs must be considered.
Heir? When does this board meet?
Well, in practice, it is our chairman, Mr. Doberman himself, who decides. This is a private bank, you understand.
I understand.
Ah, there you are. Gene, have you got the microfile?
Right here.
Marvelous. Well, you better hurry if we're going to catch the London flight.
No. I think I'll follow on a later one. I want to scout some locations for a picture I'm thinking of doing.
Oh.
Oh, one more thing, Franz. Make sure that my lawyers have a look at the other papers in the bag.
What, you've got something else in here?
Yes, a good business proposition. At least I hope so. Cost my company an awful lot of money.
You mean to get your hands on the file?
I bought me a bank. Have you ever met a bank buyer before?
No.
Bought you a bank?